Yo, good evening, USA, International, Canada, Long Island, aka Strong Island, tri state areas of New Jersey and Connecticut, plus the five spots of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens. This is your man and homie, G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator, rhymes with now or later. Your host with the most misunderstood, lonely nomad, unstoppable independent podcaster, creator, YouTuber, and of course, Queens, New York native who's a New York a New York Giants fan alongside of being a New York Mets fan from the neck of the woods of Laurelton, Queens, New York. And yes, you're now rocking with me by tuning in, streaming, listening, and watching the 108th episode of the Sports Edition show, Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast. I know it's been a long time since I recorded the last episode, and I wanted to give y'all some time to actually recover from Veterans Day. And I hope y'all enjoyed the Veterans Day parade and alongside with the festivities. Shout out to all the people who served in the Navy, alongside with the Air Force, alongside with the Army and the Marines. Thank you for your service. We're live and direct from StreamYard alongside with YouTube. And speaking of StreamYard, if you'd like to get in on the action on a discount, all you need to do is set up an account of your email address or your podcast email address. It has different features of where you could do your live streams like Facebook, Twitch, X, Instagram, YouTube, and along with other features. So that way you'll be able to get yourself a 10. No, hold on. No. That way you'll be able to get yourself a discount. I forget the number of the discount. So, and part of the reason why I wanted to record this podcast episode is because there is a baseball action that is going down tomorrow, 1:30, and I will gladly fill you in on SeatGeek and if you're looking for some last minute tickets and stuff, that's where I'm going to actually um take care of you. I'll take care of that at the before I wrap up the podcast episode. Yes, so make sure you hit that subscribe button for me on the YouTube channel page. Yes, the sports YouTube channel page to be exact, actually. Leave a like and a comment alongside with the sports topics. Tell me how you feel about the topics in each episode. And if you missed the previous episode 107, please feel free to actually take a look at it on the YouTube channel page. And of course, be sure to enable alerts so you'll be notified on each episode being uploaded to the sports YouTube channel page. And of course, when I'll be on the air live. All right. So don't forget to leave a review alongside with 5 stars and tell me your feedback. It's very important for creators like myself who host this show, and it gives me the confidence and everything else in between. So there you go. Make sure you leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts if you download Apple Podcasts alongside iPhones, Androids, iPads, Android tablets, wherever you get a chance to actually you know, listen to your podcasts. All right. So, all right. So without further ado, I want to get a head start on let's get started with the New York Giants, and then I'll get into the basketball news of the New York Knicks and their schedule and all that other stuff. I didn't forget to mention that. I have it in the description, so I will talk about that as well. So I'll probably talk about that at the end of the podcast recording. So before I wrap up. All right, time for the quick side bleacher bar. All right, let's get into it right here. Hold on. What is up with this thing? Give me one second. All right. Let's do this. Unfortunately, we got some unfortunate sad news to talk about within the New York Giants. We got an injury. Actually, I was watching one of the games, and one in particular has to do with a player who goes by Cam Skattebo. He, I'll, I will break down what happened here and how he got injured. So, let's talk about this. Let's talk about it. All right, so here's what's happening. All right, so in case anybody didn't know, Cam Skattebo's brilliant rookie season just took a turn for the worst. In fact, his season could be over. Skattebo suffered a dislocated right ankle midway through the second quarter, which took place Sundays ago against the Eagles, and was taken to a local hospital for further evaluation. The Giants announced. Giants teammates dropped to a knee, and several turned their backs to avoid the gruesome scene. Yikes. This is very, very, very scary. Very scary. This is some scary shit, though. All right. All right. Let's let's continue where I left off here. Hold on. So, um, all right. So, Dr. David Chow, the former team physician for the Chargers and founder of sixscore.com, diagnosed the injury off the broadcast and wrote on X, formerly Twitter, that hopefully without infection, he's facing surgery and good recovery for next season. Skattebo left the field on a cart with his ankle in the air cast and received a big ovation from the notoriously unfriendly Eagles crowd, which is a sign that the hard running back has earned their respect. He scored his team leading seventh touchdown earlier in the game on an 18-yard pass from Jackson Dart. Tyrone Tracy Jr., the former starting running back, supplanted by Skattebo and now forced into a bigger role, again, was with Skattebo the longest to show his support. Skattebo pointed as the cart drove off to acknowledge the support. Yeah. Also, another note in regards to another New York Giants player is Malik Neighbors, who's also out for the season. Listen, the New York Giants are getting plagued with fucking injuries, okay? Which is inevitable to avoid. Like you inevitable to avoid. And also Jackson Dart also had a concussion. That's why you didn't see him in the past game. So there is a new player that is going to be there's a new player that's going to be um there's a new player that's going to be taking his place. His name is I forget his name already. He's number 19 actually. Oh, Jameis Winston is his name. Jameis Winston is his name. I'm probably going to talk about. I'll probably talk about that along with the concussion injury, probably in the next episode, not in this episode. So let's see. Let me see. Let me see. What else can we talk about? Let me see if I have everything. Okay, so let me just say this though. So the New York Giants are 2-7 or 2-8 rather. Um, well, so far they won two games, but um, and of course, a little note that the previous coach Brian Dable got fired. Who is the replacement for that? I will discuss that in the next episode. So stay tuned for that. Let me see. Let me see. So let's see. Yeah, the Giants lost against the 49ers. Um, and they also lost against the Chicago Bears. I'm not gonna get into too much in deep, but um, so yeah. So yeah, there you have it right there. I want to hold on a second. Let me see if there's any more football news to talk about. I think that's about it. I'm just summarizing what happened with those games that they lost versus the ones that they won too. So without further ado, I want to get into some basketball news actually. Um, I don't know if you heard what happened over the summer this year. No, actually, this was before the summer. If I'm not mistaken, this is pertaining to hang on a second. So this is pertaining to a new coach of the New York Knicks. Uh Thibodeau, where is it? Where's that? Hang on. Yeah, here it is. So some basketball news regarding New York Knicks. Yeah, this took place over the summer. How he got fired. So an esteemed member of the NBA coaching circle believes Tom Thibodeau's dismissal was nonsensical. Should he have been fired? Hell no. Ty Lue, the current Clippers coach, said on the club's Shade podcast. Um, I mean, it's the first time they've been to the conference finals in 25 years. 25 Oh shit. 25 25 years? Wow. Wow. And so the city was on fire, the fans were on fire. The players did a hell of a job, and Tibbs did a hell of a job. And to take a team to their first conference finals in 25 years and then get fired, like it just doesn't make any sense. Still, with 3 years and over $35 million remaining on his Knicks contract, Thibodeau was surprisingly fired just a few days after his team was eliminated by the Pacers in Game 6 of East Fi the East Finals. Oh boy. Yeah, that's a damn shame, man. Y- you know, rarely a coach gets fired after game 6 of the finals and stuff. Like, this is the first time I ever heard this before. Like, this is very rare. Very, very rare. Very, very rare. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, we got more to talk about here. Yeah, the reasons were never explained on the record by the Knicks, other than a news release statement from team president Leon Rose that began, in quote, our organization is singularly focused on winning a championship. Lou, meanwhile, rejected the idea that Thibodeau should have been punished for losing to the Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals, an opponent that looked inferior on paper but caught fire in the playoffs. Ultimately, Indiana fell one win short of the championship after Tyrese um, Halliburton blew out his Achilles in Game 7 of the finals against the Thunder. The Pacers also beat Doc Rivers, Bucks, and Kenny Atkinson's Cavaliers in the playoffs. End quote. So everybody that in the Indiana beat, you want to fire their coach. Damn, they still going in on that shit. Lou, who was mentored by Thibodeau when they both worked on the Celtics staff over a decade ago, said it doesn't make sense. Lou, considered among the NBA's elite coaches, indicated the Knicks' circumstances bring unfair pressure to Thibodeau's replacement, Mike Brown, which I'll talk about next, who needs a rapid NBA Finals appearance to outshine his predecessor. Lou compared it to his first head coaching opportunity with the Cavaliers in 2016 when he when he took over a squad that advanced to the NBA Finals the season prior. It worked out for Lou and the Cavs, who immediately won the championship. But the bar was certainly high, and the Knicks, unlike the Cavaliers back then don't have the benefit of rostering a prime LeBron James. That's a tough spot to be in, Lou said. Further defending Thibodeau, Lou dismissed the common critiques about minutes distributions and overworking players. As the Clippers coach, Lou handled two aging and brittle stars, Kahi, no, excuse me, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, while accumulating winning records in each of his 5 seasons. Before the last campaign, Lou hired Thibodeau's good buddy and longtime colleague Jeff Van Gundy as an assistant. Whatever it takes, do whatever it takes to win, Lou said about the complaints about Thibodeau's minutes distribution. You don't want guys to practice. Now you don't want guys to play. They already get games off, but you don't want them to play minutes either. Whatever the reason for firing Tibbs, Lou thought the decision was nuts. Hell yeah, it was nuts. Like I said, I thought Tibbs did a great job, Lou said, but you never know the inside of what's going on with the organization. But everywhere he's been, he wins. Everywhere. Chicago, Minnesota, Knicks. Every team he's been on has gotten better, you know? And to do that, I thought it was crazy. All right, now we go to Mike Brown. Let's go to Mike Brown. And this is from Sports Illustrated. All right, so according to Sports Illustrated, the New York Knicks officially like Mike to lead them into the future. Hold on. So the franchise officially crowned Mike Brown the 32nd head coach in its storied history on Monday, confirming the news originally reported by Shams Charania of ESPN. Brown takes over for the ousted Tom Thibodeau after the latter's 5 seasons at the helm. Oh shit! I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry for laughing, but this is just I'm laughing at the idea that this is the nuttiest shit that I ever heard in my life, though, man. Like, damn. Oh shit. All right, so Mike has coached on the biggest stages in our sport and brings championship pedigree to our organization. Knicks president Leon Rose in the statement, end quote, his experience leading the bench during the NBA Finals, winning 4 titles as an assistant coach, and his ability to grow and develop players will all help us as we aim to bring a championship to New York for our fans. End quote, Leon and our staff ran a thorough and thoughtful process that led our organization to Mike, added Knicks owner James Dolan. I'm pleased to see him on the sideline for us next season. While the Knicks did not reveal contract details, SNY's Ian Begley reported that Brown has signed a 4-year, $40 million deal as New York looks to build upon its first Eastern Conference Finals, showing a quarter century. Yep. Don't ask me what a quarter century means. You can look it up for yourself. Um anyway, Brown is fresh off a 2+ season tenure with the Sacramento Kings, notably ending the team's lengthy playoff drought with a 48 win campaign in 2022 to 23 that yielded Coach of the Year honors, his second such title after previously earning the 2009 award with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Yeah. In addition to his head coaching affairs in Cleveland and Sacramento, Brown was briefly the top man for the Los Angeles Lakers and also 4 rings as an assistant coach with the San Antonio Spurs and Golden State Warriors. Of note, Brown oversaw most of the run to the 2017 title, which saw the Warriors post a 16-1 record, the best single postseason winning percentage in NBA history. Golden State was a perfect 12-0 with Brown at the helm after Steve Kerr was forced to step aside for medical reasons. Shit. Damn. Congratulations to Mike Brown for being the replacement and new coach. Okay, let's see. Let's see what we got on the agenda. SIP Felix Mantilla. All right. Mantilla. Yeah, let's talk about that too. Okay, Mantilla. Hang on a second. All right. Mantilla. Let me see. Okay. So some unfortunate sad news in the hang on a second. I think it's the baseball world actually. Yeah, it is. It is. So yeah, this is from Mesmerize Online, the website. So Felix Mantilla, who was the Mets third baseman for their inaugural 1962 season, has passed away at age 90. Age 90 years old. Born in Isabela, Puerto Rico, Mantilla was signed by the Milwaukee Braves after the 1951 offseason, where he played in the minors with Hank Aaron and was a part of one of the first 2 integrated teams in the southern United States. Let's see. Mantilla was called up to the Braves in 1956, playing the next 6 seasons in Milwaukee. The infielder put up a 231, 285, 325 slash line during his time in Milwaukee and won a World Series with the organization in 1957. Okay, so before I continue, just to let you know, I'm not really a numbers guy when it comes to stats. But it's in the article, so I'm just gonna go over it actually. So let's continue. After the 1961 season, the Braves left Mantilla unprotected in Major League Baseball's expansion draft, where the New York Mets selected the 26-year-old. Mantilla's stint with the Mets lasted only 1 season, but it was memorable. He hit 275 and clubbed 11 homers, all while playing third, shortstop, and second base in 1962. Mantilla was also the first Puerto Rican to play for the Mets organization. Mantilla's 1962 season was good enough for the Red Sox to acquire him via trade in the offseason. Mantilla rewarded the Sox, clubbing 54 homers and driving in 171 runs in 3 seasons from 1963 to 1965. The 1964 season was the highlight of Mantilla's career, where he slashed 289, 357, 553 with 30 homers. Mantilla also had a strong showing in 1965, where he made his lone All Star appearance. After the 1965 season, Mantilla was traded one more time to the Houston Astros, where he finished his career. The infielder only played 77 games, clubbing 6 homers and registering a below average offensive season at age 31. The 1966 season would be Mantilla's last. He was released by the Astros on November 28th, 1966, and finished his career in the Chicago Cubs organization. Mantilla tore his Achilles before the start of the 1967 season and then didn't break camp with the major league team in 1968. Um, Mantilla will live on as an infamous member of the 1962 Mets team. He joins Ed Kranepool September 8th as a member of the 1962 Mets to pass away. So sleep in paradise to Felix Mantilla. All right, so let's go on to, let's see what we have here. Yes, Frankie Montas got injured again. Yeah, you heard that right. You heard that right. Um, it's really crazy though. So let's see. There's two things. Yes, two things actually. All righty then. Hold on one second. One second. All right. First and foremost, let's get into what went down actually. So over the summer, New York Mets starting pitcher Frankie Montas has been demoted to the bullpen following a rash of poor starts. Manager Carlos Mendoza confirmed on Tuesday prior to their series opener against the Atlanta Braves at Citi Field. The 32-year-old right-hander has been unable to find his footing after signing a 2-year, $34 million deal to bolster the Mets rotation over the winter. In 8 appearances, 7 starts, he was 3-2 with a 6.38 ERA, which included 15 earned runs yielded in his last 3 outings. He's not happy. He's a competitor, Mendoza said. He wants to start. That's what we brought him in for. But understanding that the results have to be there. He understood and he's going to do whatever it takes. We just need to see consistency, and he'll be the first to tell you. It's been a while, it's been a battle for him. He understands where we're at in the season, and that's why we made the decision. Montage will be available out of the bullpen, which took place over the summer previously on that Thursday after he throws a side session on Wednesday. Uh, Mendoza projects him to be a long guy or multi-inning reliever, but is not pigeonholing him into one role, at least for now. You never know. That's what I told him to. Mendoza said he could be pitching in the 8th inning in a tie ball game because here we're at bullpen rise. We'll try our best to give him enough time to get ready when we call his name. The back to back is something he's never done. It'll be fluid. We told him that he has to be honest with us. The recovery and how we're going to use him is still fluid. Um, of course, as it stands, the Mets currently do not have a starter for the previous Saturday's matchup in Queens against the Seattle Mariners. This is a little bit of a recap of what happened over the summer. But a spark could be on the way. Top AAA pitching prospect Brendan Sproat and Nolan Lightning McLean are in the conversation to fill the spot left by Montaz's demotion. Now, I am going to do a separate episode regarding Nolan Lightning McLean. Excuse me, Nolan Lightning McLean, because he got recognized for Rookie of the Year. So I'll do a separate episode about that as well. Let's see. So let's see. Where did I live? Yeah. Yeah. So top AAA pitching prospects, Brandon Sproat and Nolan Lightning McQueen. Excuse me, Nolan Lightning McLean are in the conversation to fill the spot left by Montage's demotion. There's a lot to like, especially where they are with their development. Mendoza said of Sproat and McLean. We continue to ask a lot whether it's Sproat with the changeup or finding something against lefties. Same with McLean. The way they've been competing, they've been going more than 5 innings and they are getting results. Sproat has found his stuff after a slow start to life in AAA and has been dominant for over a month. In his last 7 starts, 39 innings pitched, he has a 1.15 ERA. McLean has been solid all season, getting the call to AAA after going 3-1 with a 1.37 ERA with AA Binghamton. In 16 appearances, 13 starts in Syracuse, he is 5-4 with a 2.78 ERA. We'll see how it goes, Mendoza said. But whoever comes up here, if it's one of the prospects, the plan is for giving them a good look here. All right. So actually, Paul Blackburn got traded away to the Yankees. So I've talked about that episodes ago. So I'm not going to go over that right there. Let's see. Also, yes. So this is from Clutch Points. New York Mets starting pitcher Frankie Montas, who suffered an elbow injury in August, will undergo Tommy John surgery and miss the remainder of 2025 and all of 2026, according to a report from the New York Post. Montas last pitched on August 15th against the Seattle Mariners, just 3 days after manager Carlos Mendoza announced he would move to the bullpen. He gave up 1 run over 2 innings of work and hit the injured list a week later after being diagnosed with a UCL tear in his right elbow. Ain't that some shit? The Post reports that Montas's full-blown Tommy John surgery will require a 12 to 14 month recovery. He finishes his season with a 6.28 ERA and a 1.603 whip in 9 appearances, 7 starts. It's hard for him, Mendoza said, when Montas first went on the IL per MLB.com. It's been hard. It's been a hard year for him since spring training when he went down and put a lot of time in rehab in. He came back and didn't have the results he wanted or we wanted. For him to have a hard time recovering after the last 2 outings, it just sucks for him. Mendoza added that the injury could have played a role in Montas's lackluster performance. The injury probably has something to do with the past outings, he said. The velocity was there, but maybe having an injury affected him with his secondary pitches. He didn't feel anything. It was just more soreness the last couple of times. Overall, Montas's career hasn't been the same since the Athletics traded him to the New York Yankees at the 2022 trade deadline. He pitched to a 6.35 ERA down the stretch for the Yankees that year and has not seemed to regain his footing amid stints with the Cincinnati Reds, Milwaukee Brewers, and Mets. As for the Mets, they are coming off a tough 1 loss to the Philadelphia Phillies on Monday. Their third straight defeat. They still hold a 3-game lead over the San Francisco Giants for the final National League wild card spot. All right, let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, let me see. Oh, wait. Wait a minute here. Let me see. So, all right, so the name of the episode today is What's Cooking with the New York Mets Ideas. Now, I want to get into I want to get into the biggest accomplishment that Pete Alonso did. And now that he opted out of his contract, which I'll talk about in the next episode. So stay tuned for that as well. And this is from USA Today. Pete Alonso now stands alone in New York Mets history. The Polar Bear launched his 253rd career home run on Tuesday night to break the tie he was in with Darryl Strawberry for most homers in Mets history. Alonso, the 30-year-old first baseman in his seventh season, accomplished the feat in his 965th game with the Mets. Strawberry played 1,109 games with the Mets over 8 seasons. Yeah, he's turning 31 this year, so keep that in mind. Alonso's record-breaking blast came off the Atlanta Braves' Spencer Strider in the bottom of the third inning Tuesday night, which took place on August 12th. The homer gave the Mets, who currently hold the last wild card spot in the National League, a 5-1 lead. For good measure, Alonso added a second homer in the bottom of the sixth inning per MLB's Sarah Langs. Tuesday marked Alonso's 25th multi-home run game, also a Mets record. The Mets went on to win 13-5. Alonso went 3 for 5 with 3 runs and 3 RBIs. Wow. Congratulations to Pete Alonso and congratulations to Pete Alonso. What an accomplishment, man. Let's see. Let me see what else to talk about here. I want to make sure I cover the bases actually. Let's see. All right. All right, let's get into hang on 1 second. Oh damn. Okay, let's All right, we're gonna actually. You know what though? I want to get into. You know what I want to get into? I want to get into. Um, let me see. It's Nolan McLean. I want to actually talk about that as well, but let me. Oh wait. Oh no. So all right. Okay. All right. So let me get to this. There's more Nolan McLean stuff to talk about. Nolan McLean comes up to Flushing, Queens, New York. I want to talk about that as well and how he did. And then the next one I didn't get a chance to talk about is one of the individuals who is from Good Morning Football Overtime, Kyle Brandt. He has a show called NFL Classics After Further Review, and which I'll talk about that next. So, the New York Mets enter Sunday on an 8-game losing streak and had their rookie star pitcher Nolan Lightning McLean, set to make his sixth start of the season. Through his first 5 games, McLean on the mound meant good things for New York Mets. For New York, the Mets were 4-1 through his first 5 starts, with the lone loss being a one zip game. That continued on Sunday as McLean twirled 6 shutout innings. The Mets rookie allowed 5 hits and 2 walks and struck out 7 batters in the Mets 5-2 extra inning win. Nolan Lightning McLean has been lights out since he made his major league debut that took place on August 16th. The Mets rookie has a 1.20 ERA across his first 37.2 major league innings. McLean has given up just 5 total runs and 12 walks. Meanwhile, he struck out 40 batters and has a 0.982 whip. In Sunday's latest spectacular outing, McLean etched his name into the Mets' history books. The rookie set the Mets' franchise record for lowest ERA through 6 starts. McLean's 1.19 ERA passed Terry Leach, 1.73, and Nolan Ryan, 1.98, and as the only other 2 Mets to have an ERA below 2 through 6 starts. Let's see. The run McLean has been on to start his career has been truly incredible. The 24-year-old has thrown 3 scoreless outings, 4 quality starts, and pitched at least 6 innings in 4 of his 6 starts. McLean has also faced strong opponents during this stretch. 4 of the 5 teams he's faced are in the playoff hunt, including 2 games against the division-leading Philadelphia Phillies and 1 against the Detroit Tigers, who have the second best record in the American League. As the Mets have struggled since the end of July and especially the start of August, McLean has been the McLean has been the exception. The rookie has delivered exceptional outings every time he's been around. He's been on the mound, and has kept the Mets in the wild card race. All right. New York currently holds the final wild card spot in the National League with 12 games left, but the Arizona Diamondbacks, San Francisco Giants, and Cincinnati Reds are right on its heels. The Mets should The Mets should get two more starts out of McLean down the final stretch of the season, with his next appearance lining up to be against the Washington Nationals. Let's see. So, why Nolan Lightning McQueen? No, why Nolan McLean gets a start? Yeah, game one starter. Yeah. So Saturday's contest between the New York Mets and Washington Nationals was a disaster for the team that resides in Queens, but the game could have been even more devastating if not the Mets' performance that starting pitcher Nolan McLean turned in. Yeah, after surrendering 2 runs over his first 2 innings of work, McLean settled down and tossed 3 straight scoreless frames to end his afternoon. The rookie only let up 4 hits and 2 walks while striking out 6 batters in the process. All right, so in quote, I felt like my stuff felt good. McLean told SNY, the first couple of innings, I could have done a much better job getting ahead. Also, once I got the 2 strikes, I could have done a better job expanding the zone and throwing a few more put away pitches. While the Mets ultimately lost the game in heartbreaking fashion, McLean kept his team in the game, despite New York's defense leaving him in challenging situations early. The rookie was able to buckle down and deliver a quality appearance. The 24-year-old has not spent much time at the major league level, but his early results and maturity should encourage the Mets to mark McLean as their game one starter in a potential National League wildcard series. McLean has earned a 4.41 record and 1.27 ERA through his first 7 starts. His 6 pitches have largely kept opposing hitters at bay. In particular, his sweeper and sinker have helped cement his status as an arm that can either hunt strikeouts or pitch to contact. According to Baseball Savant, he holds a strikeout percentage of 27.9 and a ground ball percentage of 63.1. To put this in perspective, the New York Yankees starter. Wait, what the hell? Wait, what the hell? You see, starter Max Fried owns strikeout percentage of 23.5 and a ground ball percentage of 52.7. Uh, it could be said that having the capacity to induce either outcome at any given moment is a major playoff asset. This would be especially true for a young starter who may need to deal with uncomfortable circumstances and deep counts. All right, so Nolan Lightning McLean's maturity makes him a viable October option. Beyond the statistics that have highlighted McLean's torrid start, the right-hander has repeatedly shown the mental fortitude required to pitch in the postseason. His last 2 starts against the Texas Rangers and the Nationals, respectively, showcased 2 different yet critical qualities of his mental makeup. While McLean's most recent appearance saw him keep the Mets in a game that initially seemed lost. His earlier performance against the Rangers was guided by a willingness to adapt on the fly. He threw 6 scoreless innings in the Mets win over Texas earlier this month. Even though the opposition initially attempted to be extremely patient and forced the Willow Spring native to work himself into deep counts. It looks like the Rangers had a good plan there, especially against his sweeper, where they took some pitches early in counts. Mets manager Carlos Mendoza told the New York Post after the game, in quote, they were aggressive on that pitch, and McLean kind of recognized that, and he started using that sinker. He started using that changeup. That is what makes this guy who he is. Both instances required grit. It can be a challenge for a starter to stay mentally sharp while trailing, and just a tricky to counter a lineup's attempt to disrupt one's rhythm. New York's starting rotation has dealt with injuries and other deficiencies down the stretch. Sharmania, Clay Holmes, David Peterson, and Kodai Senga have each had questionable moments and have not cemented their status as trusted postseason starters. As a result, McLean may be the Mets' best chance to ensure a smooth opening game. With the Cincinnati Reds now owning the NL wildcard tiebreaker, the New York Mets still has work to do before finalizing its October plans. But if the Mets can avoid a collapse, which they didn't, um, McLean has earned a chance to headline their wildcard rotation. Even though he's a rookie, Mets outfielder Juan Soto told MLB.com he's like a veteran on the team. Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true. That's definitely true, though, man. What the hell? Um, oh boy. Okay, Mets perfect trade offer for Twins. Oh my goodness. Let me see. Oh, let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Mets perfect trades offer for. Oh boy. Let me see. Okay, so in other Mets news, I want to actually. I didn't even notice this until I saw that. I didn't have that in my notes, so I'll just cut to the chase with this. The New York Mets have emerged as serious contenders to land Minnesota Twins ace Pablo Lopez this afternoon, and for good reason. With David Stearns' mandate to acquire frontline starting pitching and the team's deep prospect pool, acquiring Lopez represents a realistic and compelling path forward for a franchise desperate to return to championship contention. Despite Lopez missing half, missing over half, the 2025 season due to injuries. The 29-year-old right-hander remains one of the most coveted arms on the trade market heading into the winter meetings. Lopez was on pace for one of the best seasons of his career before a forearm strain ended his campaign prematurely. In just 14 starts and 75.2 innings, he posted an impressive 2.74 ERA, showcasing the elite stuff that has made him a consistent performer throughout his career. Over the previous 3 seasons from 2022 through 2024, Lopez averaged 32 starts per year with at least 180, 180 innings pitched annually, establishing himself as one of baseball's most durable workhorses. The Twins signed him to a 4-year, $73.5 million extension in April 2023 that runs through the 2027 season, giving the organization long-term control over a pitcher hitting his prime years. For the Mets, acquiring Lopez fills their most pressing need, starting pitching depth. The organization's rotation struggled mightily in 2025, and Stearns has made it clear that if a top of the rotation pitcher becomes available, the team will pursue him aggressively. The Mets poses the prospect capital necessary to make such a deal happen. With one of baseball's most talented farm systems featuring young arms that contending teams covet. Um, Lopez represents a more attainable target than some other available aces on the market, and his contract situation actually works in the Mets' favor compared to other expensive veteran pitchers. At $21.5 million annually through 2027, Lopez's deal is significantly cheaper than many free agent alternatives and represents excellent value for a pitcher with proven durability and consistent production. Now, this is crazy interesting. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wait a minute here. Wait a minute here. Why the hell would you trade Nolan McLean to the Twins? That makes no fucking sense, man. That makes no fucking sense, man. Now you're talking about trading away Jonathan Brandon Sproat and AJ Ewing. That's great. This is the craziest trade that I ever seen. But I guess this is like hypothetically. This is kind of like hypothetically speaking. This is not really the real thing. This is more like hypothetically. So this is not the real thing. So don't worry about um Nolan Lightning McLean. He's not going anywhere. He's staying with the Mets. All right, so why this works for both teams. So the Twins benefit from this arrangement by acquiring 3 elite young pitching arms who represent legitimate prospects for their rotation's future as they navigate their rebuild phase. McLean and Tong both retain rookie eligibility for 2026, meaning they have multiple years of arbitration control ahead rather than approaching free agency. Brandon Sproat, with his higher ceiling, provides the type of high risk, high reward talent that rebuilding organizations prioritize. The inclusion of AJ Ewing adds adds offensive depth to an organization that struggled offensively during their 2025 fire sale. Uh, for the for the Mets, acquiring Lopez immediately addresses their most critical need with a proven veteran ace who can anchor their rotation for the next 3 seasons. Rather than overpaying for free agent pitchers or emptying the farm for more costly trades, this deal allows Stearns to acquire a durable, consistent performer while retaining young position players like Jet Williams and Carson Bench, who are um, supposed to be coming up to the big leagues by 2026, and they're probably going to be in spring training 2026 as well. I did see the schedule, but it's not saying what TV channels is going to be on. So I'll I'll circle back on that. Let's see. Let's see. Yes, yes. Yeah, so Lopez's durability and track record suggest the injury concerns from 2025 were anomalies. And at just 29 years old, he has several peak seasons remaining. The math makes sense for both sides. The Twins get legitimate young talent with controllable contracts to build around during their rebuilding timeline. While the Mets got the excuse me, while the Mets get the proven cost controlled ace they desperately need to compete in 2026 and beyond. Okay. This is this is some wild shit though, man. Like really, really though, man. This is some wild shit though. Um, oh boy. Very wild. Let's see. What else? Yeah, so after a disappointing 2025 campaign, the New York Mets enter a pivotal offseason as team president David Stearns faces key roster decisions. Chief among the questions awaiting the club this winter are whether to re-sign free agent Pete Alonso and how to improve the starting rotation. Some view free agent hurler Zach Gallen as a prime target for the starter needy Mets. Assuming the Arizona Diamondbacks don't re-sign the 30-year-old pitcher who's spent nearly his entire career with the team, Harold Reynolds sees the Mets making a move. Um, Again, this is hypothetical, folks. This is not really the real thing. You just gotta take this shit like a grain of salt. All right, get a healthy Mets. Reynolds suggested when discussing Gallen's free agency on MLB networks. Hot stove, Jersey kid. I'm with you. Co-host Matt Vasgarcian agreed. I'll also say the Mets because I think they're going to be in on all the starting pitching this winter. Is Zach Gallen a good fit for the Mets rotation? Gallen picked up a bad time to have the worst season of his career. He became a free agent after signing 1 year, $13.5 million contract with the Diamondbacks last offseason. It was the third straight 1 year contract he signed with Arizona. Um, the All Star righty went 13 to 15 while recording career worst marks in ERA 4.83, nine strikeouts, 8.2 ERA, 8.2, ERA plus 89, and B WAR 1.1. Despite the poor season, teams were still interested in Gallen at the trade deadline. The seventh-year veteran has proven himself a quality starter. Gallen has finished top 10 in Cy Young voting three times in the previous 5 seasons. He was also a key member of the Diamondbacks team that reached the World Series in 2023. The Mets need to bolster their rotation. New York found itself at a crossroads in 2025. The team's veteran starters, Corday Senga, David Peterson, and Clay Holmes struggled down the stretch. The Mets turned to a trio of rookies to save the season. Ultimately, the strategy failed. New York won the offseason last year, landing free agents prize Juan Soto after an unexpected run to the NLCS in 2024. The build was expected to compete for a championship. Despite spending big, the Mets came up small in a massively disappointing season. But New York has has the foundation of a starting staff with Nolan Lightning McLean, Pete Peterson, and Senga. Adding Gallon to the mix could help the Mets rebound in 2026. Yeah, you would say that shit, but you know, you listen, man. Listen, you just have to you gotta take this off season day by day, one at a time, because we don't know who's going to be we don't know who's going to be, picked during the off season of the Mets. So let's just wait and see, man, and not based on, you know, speculation. All right. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Let me see. Let me see if there's anything else to talk about as far as anything news related in Mets land. Okay, let's see what's going on with hold on one second here. Um Damn, this is crazy, man. Hold on. This is crazy, man. Um, let me see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, I'm trying to. Let me see anything recent. Anything recent. Let's see. Let's see. So, um, okay, let's talk Jeff McNeil's injury, and then if there's anything else that I could talk about, then I'll just go in. All right, so New York Mets second baseman Jeff McNeil underwent a minor thoracic outlet syndrome procedure following the regular season when he was experiencing pain while swinging a bat. McNeil's agent Garrett Parcell told Joel Sherman of the New York Post that his client should be ready by spring training. The 33-year-old is entering the final guaranteed year, worth $15.75 million of his contract. After considerable struggles in the previous two seasons, he posted a 746 OPS, his highest mark in 3 years. He remained a versatile part of David Stearns' operation, stepping in as center field to give the club another option after Jose Siri's leg injury. Center field work does not appear to be in the cards for McNeil in 2026, at least according to Stearns. End quote. I think we love Jeff's positional versatility, Stearns said during MLB's GM meetings this week, but I don't see us looking at that as a significant portion of his time for next year. The full extent of his workload, even at second base, appears to be in flux too. The Mets have top prospect Jet Williams, who is capable of playing second base, brewing in the minors, and he could even make his MLB debut next season. Luis Angel Acuna and Ronnie Mauricio will also be vying for consistent time in the big leagues, while the Mets could also hit the free agent market to bring in another infielder as well. If, say, Alex Bregman was signed, Hypothetically speaking, third baseman Brett Beatty could also be in the equation as second. Oh gosh. Bregman is 32. Like seriously, why are we wasting our time on players that's like in their 30s? Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Let's see. Let's see if there's anything in Mets news to actually let's see. Um, I don't think there's anything else. Oh boy. Okay. All right. Before I go on to the next topic, I want to actually let me see. Let me see something here. Hmm. I want to see something here. If there's anything else that I missed or anything like that, let's see. Let's check the feed. Let's check the feed or anything recent. Let's see. Oh no, that's not it. Hold on a sec. Hmm. Hold on a second. All right. If there's anything else, let me see. Let me see something here. Let's see something here. This is not exactly what I had in mind, but oh boy. Hmm. Okay, let me see. Let me see something here. Let me see. Oh, okay. Okay, let's okay, so here's okay. All right. So let's get into Brendan Nimmo. I wasn't even expecting this to appear, but might as well talk about it though, man. So this is from Amazing Avenue. Um, here's what's happening here with Brendan Nimmo. So in his 2025 Brendan Nimmo season preview, Michael Drago wrote, while there will always be concerns about what a player will look like in their late 30s, Nimmo is still at an age where it's not unreasonable to expect him to be a productive player in 2025. And in evaluating his 2025 output, it's safe to say that a productive player is exactly what the Mets got from Nimmo, even if the underlying numbers and trends are not entirely encouraging. Nimmo made a name for himself predominantly for his on-base prowess, excuse me. His greatest value was given the Mets close to elite on-base numbers during his prime years. Uh, Nimmo now aged now Nimmo now aged 32 and decidedly beyond his peak has seen a dip in his OBP, which has slightly hurt his overall value. But what he's lost in walks, he's gained in power as he's added that element to his game over the past 2 years. All that makes the totality of Nimmo's overall impact a bit hard to properly summarize. Thankfully, Nimmo did not seem noticeably plagued by the plantar fasciitis issues that derailed the second half of his 2024 season. After emerging as a player um, perpetually plagued by injuries during the early part of his career, played in a career high 155 games in 2025, making it the fourth consecutive season where he played in 150 plus games for the Mets. Over the past 4 years, he's played in just under 94% of the team's games after appearing in just 60% of the team's games from 2017 to 2021. After putting up near all-star numbers in the first half of 2024, he tailed off as the Mets made their improbable push for the World Series. And while he's experienced a bit of a dip in production in the second half this year, his overall numbers were fairly close. Nimmo posted a 259, 321, 463 slash line with 18 homers and a 120 WRC plus in the first half and a 268, 328, 397 slash line with 7 homers and a 106 WRC plus after the break. When we scrutinize his numbers a bit more closely, the two biggest trends are the jump in power and the decline in his walk rate and on base percentage. He set a career high with 25 home runs, making it the third straight year that he hit at least 23 long balls. He also set a career best with 92 runs batted in, 2 more than he had in 2024. Much of that is the result of A, hitting in the middle of the order as opposed to the top of the lineup, and B, hitting behind guys like Lindor and Soto, who posted high on base clips in 2025. He also scored 80 runs for the third straight year and reached double digits in stolen bases for the second straight season after failing to do so at any point in his career. But with his uptick in power came a decline in what made Nimmo so valuable in the first place. His keen eye, selectivity, and overall ability to get on base. He posted a 7.7% walk percentage in 2025, the lowest of his major league career, and a nearly 4% drop from 2024, when he posted an 11.6% walk percentage. He also posted a career worst 0.35 walk slash strikeout. That contributed to a career low 324 OBP that was 40 points lower than his career average of 364, and a continuing trend after he posted a 327 OBP in 2024. He did strike out a little below his average, his career average, posting a 21.6% strikeout percentage. So that's 22.3% of his strikeouts, I guess. His strikeouts. As a result, his 114 WRC plus, while being slightly higher than his WRC plus in 2024, was the second lowest he posted in a full season after posting a WRC plus of 148 in 2018. 149 in 2020, 135 in 2021, and 132 in 2022. His OPS in 2025, meanwhile, was 760, which is a jump from his 727 OPS in 2024, but decidedly lower than when he was regularly posting an 800 plus OPS between 2018 and 2023. In examining his baseball savant profile, this was the first time Nimmo posted an average walk percentage in his career, dropping from the 91st percentile in 2024 to the 44th percentile in 2025, after regularly being in the 75th percentile or higher. He still achieved a better than average chase rate, posting a 24.2% chase percent, which is the 74th percentile, a career low, but still decidedly in the upper range of the league. He also posted an elite average exit velo, 91.8, 88th percentile, and hard hit percentage, 50.2%, 88th percentile. However, his whiff rate, 23.8%, strikeout percentage, 21.6%, bat speed, 72.3, and barrel percentage, 8.8%, are all squarely average or below average. Meanwhile, on defense, he remained league average as he transitioned from center to left field. Moving from center to the corner also makes him slightly less valuable than he was when he initially signed that 8-year deal. He posted a -1 OAA, but did not, but did finish with 4 DRS in left and a -1 DRS in 15 innings in center. Um, let me see. He no longer seems capable of patrolling center and will continue handling left, but a transition to DH or first base, depending on what happens with Alonso's free agency and how the club manages their first off season, is not out of the question in the near future. Overall, Nimmo's season was fine. Going into next season, the big question is whether he will rediscover his selectivity at the plate and go back to posting high on base numbers, or if this is the Nimmo the Mets will get from now on. While the power is nice, he has lost what made him so uniquely special. The club could try to move him, but he won't be easy to unload with 5 years remaining on his contract. And for those of you who may not know, talking about trading Nimmo away, you got to fucking remember that he has a no trade clause. All right. So I just wanted to actually remind some of you, some of the fans out there, um, that probably don't understand what a no trade clause is. Meaning, it means that it means that a player cannot be traded to a different team, no matter how many years of a long contract it is. Let's see. This is crazy though, man. So, all right. So the club could try to move him, but he won't be easy to unload with 5 years remaining on his contract. Yeah. With David Stern's hyper focus on run prevention, Nimmo is starting to seem like an odd roster fit. So, barring anything unforeseen, fans can expect to see Nimmo's name in the lineup. And while he is a far different player now than the ones Mets fans initially fell in love with, he still produces and provides value to the club on a nightly basis. All right, let me see. So, yeah, let me see. What is this? Season plan contest. The hell? Wait. What is this? What the hell is this? Oh boy. Yeah, what's today? 14th? Yeah. All right. So there is a 2025 to 26 Amazing Avenue off-season plan contest going down. It's that time of year again. The off season is upon us, and as is tradition here at Amazing Avenue, we turn to our community to do something that's always a lot of fun. The Amazing Avenue off season plan contest, commonly referred to as the double AOP. If you are unfamiliar, here's our finalist post from last season's contest, just so you can familiarize yourself with the format and how things work. All right, so submit your entry in the feed. The title of the post must start with double AOP, no quotes, so that judges may identify your entry. Your entry may be composed entirely in the feed or in a Google Doc. If you compose it the feed, we recommend using the advanced editor. If you compose it in a Google Doc, which allows for more flexibility when using images, paints, etc., you should include a link to the Google Doc in the body or your post in the feed, and ensure that the sharing link is set to allow anyone with the link to view it. To ensure there's no post submission editing, you must submit a PDF of your entry via jot form um at the link. It says, hold on. So it's form.jotform.com. All right. The use of AI for written content or generative images is strictly prohibited. Your entry must be submitted by Monday, November the 17th at 5 p.m. Eastern, no exceptions. There are no specific formatting requirements. Entries will be evaluated on readability, creativity, and realism by a panel of Amazing Avenue staff writers. For this year's contest, 2025 payroll cannot exceed $325 million. The $325 million payroll threshold applies to all future years as well as 2025. This season, we will also consider the payroll of your team relative to the luxury tax. If your double AOP checks in below the third threshold, $284 million, you'll get some extra credit. If you check in over the third threshold, $304 million, you may be judged more harshly. These numbers refer only to your 26-man roster salary as well as any carried salary obligations you incur through your off-season moves. Use this link for arbitration salaries from MLBTR's estimates. For current and future payroll obligations, contract details, and option status, uh, see this spreadsheet. Alternatively, Spot Track and Roster Resource have more detailed information on all players. Um, League minimum salary for the 2024 season, is $780,000. You have the power to make qualifying offers to any eligible player. The value of the qualifying offer this off season is $22.02 million dollars. You may offer the QO to any pending free agent. Pete Alonso and Edwin Diaz will decline both the qualifying offer if you choose to extend it. Any other player will accept. I'm actually going to talk about this in a separate episode, so I'm gonna leave that there. Um, I'm gonna leave that there actually. Wait a minute, Frankie Montas is going to opt in if they decline their player options. So, damn. So, for a list of available free agents, use MLBTR to get a rough idea of what contracts players are expected to receive and to receive. See Fangraphs. Let's see. Make sure your roster is legal. That means 26 players, at least 13 of whom must be position players. Your AAOP begins at the start of the Mets off season, so you are free to ignore any decisions the Mets have already made since the season ended. Make your submission as readable as possible. Use spell check, proofread your post, and try to make it sound good. If we have to slog through reading your plan, we probably won't won't like it too much. All right. Same goes for making your post look good. Sprinkle in some images, tables, and of course some paints with a Z at the end. MS Paint for the uninitiated. Fun aesthetics are a great way to make your plan stand out and keep the judges interested while reading it. Make your plan as realistic as possible. Whether the Mets might realistically um realistically hold on realistically execute your plan isn't important, but the moves do need to be at least somewhat justifiable. Let's see. Damn, it's a lot. So the deeper roster details. Before anything else, note that the details below are entirely optional. If you want to do an double A OP without deeper levels of detail, that's totally valid, and your submission will not be penalized in any way. The below is meant to purely be a fun add-on for those of us who are way too into this, like myself. If you are still interested, we prepared this spreadsheet that consolidates all player information on contracts, option status, and luxury tax numbers. That's for the 2026 player list tab, uh, and provides a roster template for you to use if you choose 2026 roster template tab. An example roster, one with basically no additions or subtractions, is provided in the 2026 roster tab. This will hopefully provide a starting point to get into some of the more detailed elements of roster construction, such as what will the luxury tax number for the Mets be. Recall that the luxury tax for each player is not based on their 2026 salary, but instead on the average annual value of the contract. Who can actually be optioned down for depth on the 40-man roster? That's the question. The Mets have a number of players who are out of options, meaning that you might have to make some tough calls on who is included on the back of your roster or pass through waivers. Eh, Are there any prospects you want to protect from the 5 rule draft? A number of players in the Mets minor league system will be Rule 5 eligible this offseason and must be added to the 40-man roster to avoid another team potentially selecting them. Finding the roster roster spots to protect the players you deem most valuable or those you deem most likely to be taken by another organization can put a further squeeze on your roster construction decisions. All of this can be complicated and again is entirely optional. But if you want to take a stab at the deeper elements of roster construction, this will hopefully provide an avenue to step in a more guided way. Feel free to leave questions in the comments as well, which we'll try our best to address as we're able. And of course, the first prize is the New York Mets Sugar Skull Dugout Mug by Dugout Mugs. Second place is one T-shirt of your choosing from this Breaking Tea collection. And third will be a copy of the forthcoming book, Metropolitan's New York Baseball Class Struggle and the People's Team by A.M. Gitlitz, to be delivered upon release in March 2026. So there you go with the deadline right here. So there you go with the deadline right here. All right, let's talk about this new show that Kyle Brent has. I want to talk about this. This is very important, actually. This is very important, actually, and this is from Hype Magazine. It's from Hype Magazine. It's actually out right now, actually. So Vice Sports teams with Peyton Manning's Omaha Productions in association with NFL Films for NFL Classics after further review. It is hosted by NFL Network personality Kyle Brandt, who you may know from Good Morning Football Overtime and the podcast. The 6-part series premieres Wednesday, September 3rd, 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern on Vice TV, with new episodes airing weekly. All right, so yeah. So September, hang on a second, airing tomorrow. No, this took place September 17th, 9 p.m. Eastern on Vice TV. So this one features a former Jet star. Bart Scott is joined by Method Man, a New York native, lifelong Jets fan. I can't believe Method Man is a longtime Jets fan, man. When they fucking suck right now, though, man. I hate to say this though, man, but you know what I mean. But they did win. They did win 2 games though. But the thing is, man, that's not gonna be enough though. But anyway, yeah. I didn't even know he was a New York Jets fan. So yeah, lifelong Jets fan and recent inductee into the Jets Hall of Fame. Jets Fan Hall of Fame. I didn't even know that was a thing. To revisit the Jets win over the Patriots in the 2010 AFC divisional round. The episode features real-time commentary and candid storytelling from both. The preview clip below shows Method Man and Bart reacting to Scott's iconic "can't wait" post-game moment. Each hour re-examines an unforgettable NFL game through the eyes of the players who lived it and the celebrity fans who can't forget it, with picture-in-picture commentary, behind-the-scenes insights, and Peyton Manning appearing at the top of each episode with his reflections. Now, in the network perspective, while production is still ongoing, it's already clear that NFL Classics, after further review, is going to be a special series that football fans won't want to miss, said Vice TV President Pete Gaffney. These aren't just great games. They are emotional time capsules, and hearing the players and fans relive them with total honesty, humor, and heart is pure magic. We're also fortunate to have a tremendous personality like Kyle Brandt to guide us through each episode. So there you go, right there. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, if you haven't had a chance to check it out, you can actually check it out on Vice TV. I hope they actually do repeats and stuff. Um, and of course, you can follow Vice TV on social media platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X, formerly Twitter. So there you go, right there, man. Make sure you check that football show out. All right. All right, let me see something here. Let me see something here, actually. Let me see something here. Um, yes, I do want to talk about a baseball action that's happening tomorrow. That's a good thing I mentioned this. So I'm gonna give y'all the rundown of what's going on tomorrow, as far as like the event. Let me find. I'm gonna find it right now. Actually, let me find it. Yes, so it is going down tomorrow, according to Latino Sports. Let's get into it. All right, so baseball is returning to Citi Field a bit early as the battle between Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic, deemed the RD. Now, I did notice there's an error. There's an error on here. Um, and it's supposed to be DR, not RD. And what I found out about RD, it stands for the differential. Run differential. That's what RD stands for. Um, so basically it's DR versus so it's Dominican Republic versus Puerto Rico. Showdown takes place this coming Saturday, which is tomorrow, with tickets still available for those um, interest, interested in attending, organized by the Puerto Rico Professional Baseball Players Association and the National Federation of Professional Baseball Players of the Dominican Republic. With the assistance of the New York Mets and Major League Baseball, each roster is set to include former MLB players from Puerto Rico and the DR, as well as an abundance of young and upcoming MLB talent who are ready to make their own mark on the show in the near future. Uh, okay. We have, in quote, we have many players who are on the verge of making it to the big leagues and establishing themselves or others who are looking for a contract, either because they are free agents or their contract has expired. This serves as a platform for them to showcase their talent, and hopefully, they will be given that opportunity and can continue pursuing their dream. Um, that's a quote from Carlos Delgado, who is the manager of Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic versus Puerto Rico. So that's DR versus PR showdown. It's not RD, it's DR. RD stands for run differential. All right. Just to let you know, this is like an error that happened in some of the articles that I've seen. Puerto Rico will be managed by Boricua baseball icon Carlos Delgado. A former two-time MLB All-Star, winning the Silver Slugger Award on 3 separate occasions, and the Roberto Clemente Award in 2006. While the Dominican Republic is led by skipper Carlos Gomez, a former Gold Glove Award winner who appeared in 2 MLB All-Star games and spent 2 separate stints with the Mets in 2007, his first season in MLB, and 2019, his final year in MLB before retiring as a player. The fact that it's outside my country and against such a competitive opponent as the Puerto Rico team makes the commitment and learning even greater, because I'm facing my former teammates Gomez, age 39, of Santiago, Dominican Republic, told The Athletic. For me, it's an honor to go to the city and stadium where I was given the opportunity to become a professional for the first time. Every time Dominicans and Puerto Ricans play, it's always going to get competitive, said Delgado on Amazing Conversations with Jay Horwitz. Even though it's like an all-star game, once the game starts, we both want to win. I'm excited. It's going to be my first opportunity as a manager. Delgado, age 53, of Aguadilla, Puerto Rico, will be accompanied by bench coach Carlos Beltran, also another former Met, his former Mets teammate, and one of the greatest switch hitters of all time, a 9-time MLB All-Star, 3-time Gold Glover, 2-time Silver Slugger, 2017 World Series champion, and recipient of the 2013 Roberto Clemente Award. I think it will be a nice opportunity that will get shared together, Delgado noted on having Beltran alongside in the dugout. We had so many memories over there in New York, so this is another one for the books. Out of those expected to make their way on the actual playing diamond, the most popular name of them all is Dominican baseball legend Robinson Cano, actually Robbie Cano, an 8-time MLB All-Star, 5-time Silver Slugger, 2-time Gold Glover, and 2009 World Series champion. The 43-year-old left-handed hitting second baseman, hailing from San Pedro de Macorís, Dominican Republic, has remained active by playing professionally in Mexico and the DR ever since his final MLB game in 2022. However, it is rumored that Saturday's DR versus um, PR, which is Dominican Republic versus Puerto Rico, showdown in Queens, will be Cano's final professional baseball game on United States soil, with special tributes already planned for the monumental day. Each player on the Dominican Republic team will don number 24 in honor of Cano, as players on Puerto Rico will wear number 21, paying homage to Delgado. In addition, Bartolo Colon, Luis Castillo, and Alfonso Soriano, among others, are rumored to be special guests in attendance, while concerts, festivities, and even a block party are set to be held in the city parking lots of Citi Field, which opens up to fans at approximately 10:30 a.m. Eastern, with first pitch scheduled for 1 p.m. Eastern. So there you go, right there. Of course, to learn more about the DR versus PR showdown at Citi Field on Saturday, November 15th, please visit the Mets' official website at www.mlb.com/Mets tickets, a special DR and PR. And if you are looking for last minute tickets, I want to put you on to a backup plan just in case that you need last minute tickets and stuff. So the website is www.seatgeek.com, as as Wardy puts it and talks about the website. For those of you who may not know, this is basically a website where you could actually get tickets to sporting events, whether it's baseball, whether it's basketball of the NBA, whether it's football, whether it's entertainment events like this one right here that's going down tomorrow. Um, so yeah, and you can even download the SeatGeek app, make an account, and of course, he um, and of course, for those of you who may not know who Wardy is, he covers the New York Mets during post games, off seasons, um, and all that great stuff right there. He does major good work covering the New York Mets, and he has another YouTube channel which is Wardy MLB. So make sure you subscribe to both of his channels, and of course, he talks about the promo code, which is very important. If you're gonna buy stuff with his promo code, and you can go ahead and use that promo code, whether it's Wardy 10 or just Wardy. Either either one, you can go to his link in the description of each of the live shows that he does. So there you go, right there. www.seatgeek.com. All right. And plus, if you can't make it to Citi Field tomorrow, you can also watch it. You can also watch it at 1 p.m. on Pix 11. Nelson Figueroa, a former New York Mets pitcher, is going to be hosting that event. So if you plan on checking it out, please go to SeatGeek.com for last minute tickets. All right. All right. So let me see. All right. Give me 1 second, folks. Oh, wait. I got one more thing that I need to do actually before I get up out of here. I want to remind y'all of the New York Knicks schedule. All right. Before I forget, let me take a look. All right, so I'm gonna take a look here and see. We'll take a look here actually. So I want to make sure that I don't forget. So let me see. The 17th. Okay, so the next time the New York Knicks play is against the Dallas Mavericks, which is on Wednesday, November 19th, Eastern Time on ESPN. You can also following November 22nd. Okay, hold on. November 22nd, 5 p.m. 5 p.m. Hold on. 5 p.m. Let me take a look at something real quick, folks. Okay, November 19th. Shit. Come on. What time do the New York Knicks, hold on a second. New York Knicks play on Wednesday, November 19th. Okay. So they play at 9:30 p.m. So they play at 9:30 p.m. Okay. Yeah, 9:30 p.m. and it's going to air on ESPN. New York Knicks versus Orlando Magic. That's Saturday, November 22nd, 5 p.m. Eastern Time on MSG. New York Knicks versus Brooklyn Nets, Monday, November 24th at 7:30 p.m. Also on MSG. Following New York Knicks versus Charlotte Hornets, Wednesday, November 26th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on MSG. Milwaukee Bucks versus New York Knicks, Friday, November 28th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Amazon Prime Video. Toronto Raptors versus New York Knicks, Sunday at 6 p.m. November 30th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on MSG. New York Knicks versus Boston Celtics, Tuesday, December 2nd at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and it'll be airing on NBC. Charlotte Hornets versus New York Knicks, Wednesday, December 3rd at 7:30 Eastern Time on MSG. Utah Jazz versus New York Knicks, which will be taking place on Friday, December 5th at 7:30 Eastern Time on MSG. And if I'm not mistaken, let me make sure I don't forget. Let me make sure I don't forget, though. Yes, Utah Jazz versus New York Knicks, Friday, December 5th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on MSG. Followed by Sunday, December 7th, Orlando Magic versus New York Knicks at 12 p.m. Eastern Time on MSG. So there you go. This is the rundown of the New York Knicks schedule, where you can watch it on your cable TV sports channels and whatnot, and streaming platform, which is Amazon Prime Video. So there you go, right there. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't forget. So there you go. There you go, right there. All right, let's see how much time we got here. I'm going to get off the air real soon. All right. Yeah, we're going to get off the air soon, actually, though, man. You know what I mean? We're going to get off the air real soon. Hold on, let me actually grab where you can listen to the episodes and stuff. So let me see. Let me make sure I don't forget. Okay. My very last segment is going to be stream choices on the go. Let's get into it. Let's go. All right, folks. Make sure you follow the Sports Edition Show, Excellent, Fun, Vibrant Talks podcast on Facebook, alongside with Blue Sky Social, Threads, and Instagram. The same goes with the same goes for my other podcast shows that I do, which includes the Entertainment Review Show, Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast, and of course, my comedy Off the Meat Rack Chains New York Avenue podcast. And alongside with myself, you can follow your host with the most on Threads and Instagram, which is the same username, which is G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York. And And if you go to the link in bio, you're going to see Linktree/Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks Pod. You click on there, you're going to see a whole list of audio streaming platforms, including visual, which includes Audible, Odyssey, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to leave a 5-star rating and a review on there on Apple Podcasts. Castbox FM, Deezer Listen Notes, Moon FM Podcast, Overhaul FM Podcast, Player FM, Pocket Cast, Pandora, Podopolo, Podorama, Podcast Index, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Podverse, Podcast Guru, Podcatcher, Podcast Republic, Snipped, Spotify. Don't forget to add this podcast to your Spotify play. Like basketball, the New York Knicks, Brooklyn, football, like the New York Giants or any other football teams. Baseball teams, including the New York Mets, or even the minor league, even the minor leagues of the Mets and stuff. Binghamton, Rumble Ponies, Syracuse, Brooklyn Nets. If you're into all of that, of course, you can actually check that out as well. And you can also listen to the episodes on Spotify for creators, alongside with TuneIn Radio, Fountain, Good Pods, iHeartRadio, the #1 app where you can listen to your favorite music artists, such as rappers, singers in R&B, pop singers, and different music genres, alongside with hip hop artists. Your favorite radio stations on the AM and the FM stations, and of course, you can listen to the episodes of the Sports Edition show of Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast episodes on iHeartRadio for free. You don't need a credit card to download iHeartRadio. All you need to do is actually follow, subscribe on every streaming platform that I just mentioned. Of course, make sure if you don't have iHeartRadio onto your phones, download it to your download iHeartRadio to your phones, which includes your iPhones, Android phones, alongside with iPads, Android tablets, and of course, you can also download it to your Mac, Apple laptop models. You can also do the same with the Dell laptop models as well. All right. So there you go, right there. And of course, last but not least, make sure you subscribe to the Sports YouTube channel page right here on the Sports YouTube channel page of Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast. And like I said earlier, if you missed out on episode 107 on YouTube, that's already uploaded. Please check out that episode. I'm trying to get some more views here. And of course, be sure to also leave a like and a comment along with the sports topics. Tell me how you feel about the sports topics in today's episode, alongside with the events and everything that I just informed y'all on whatsoever. And of course, be sure to also take the time to spread the word to your husbands, your wives, your boyfriends, girlfriends, people you're cool with from work, and share the Linktree link along with the audio streaming podcast link feeds of each streaming platform whatsoever. Make sure you spread the word. Word of mouth is important. And of course, make sure you stay tuned for more video podcast episode, live stream, and of course, Be sure to stick around for more new videos being uploaded. Make sure you actually hit that notification bell so you be notified on when I'll be on the air live with more new episodes. Speaking of new episodes will be dropping Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. All right. I do apologize for the hold up. I wanted to give y'all some time to recover from Veterans Day, and of course, I had a little issue with my health as far as like the fever and as far as like some crazy problems with my mother and stuff. So that's a long story. I would gladly actually talk about that on my other podcast platform right there, off the Meat Rat Chains New York Avenue podcast. Also, please make sure you also subscribe to Meticulous Juice podcast YouTube channel and alongside with G Money Stacks 555 for more off the Meat Rat Chains New York Avenue podcast episodes. In case you miss any of them, please catch up and be sure to check them out. Drop the comments down below on the YouTube channel feed. All right. So that's going to do it for me, man. I'm your man, G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator, rhymes with narrator. And I'd like to say thank you to every single one of you who took the chance to actually listen to the episodes whatsoever. You could have listened to any other podcast in the whole world, but you chose to listen to this podcast as well. Remember, the grind doesn't stop. Hard work pays off. If you want something, you have to work hard and earn it. It's not going to be given to you on a fucking silver platter. Now, if you plan on starting a podcast, please make sure you be yourself behind the microphone while you are talking about your topics and stuff. All right. Don't let anybody stop you or tell you that it's too late to actually start a podcast based on your age. It doesn't matter what your age is. And there is no wrong time for you to actually start a podcast. Okay. I'm only saying this to actually, inspire a lot of people to actually get into the groove, into starting a podcast, because I see a couple of podcasters who actually gave up on theirs because they're not making any money. It's not about making money. It's not about that. It's about doing what you love, being able to make sure you own your stuff. When you create something, you own it, not the media companies or anything like that. All right. So there you go, right there, man. There you go, right there. And also, I would like to add to this is to also make sure that you are on your P's and Q's creatively, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, that gets you into your zone alongside with tunnel vision. All right. Do what makes you happy. And of course, ask yourself this question: are you doing this for the money in the moment, or are you doing this for the fun? All right. That's going to do it, man. Don't forget to check out SeatGeek.com for last minute tickets for the Dominican Republic versus Team Puerto Rico that's taking place at Citi Field. If you can't make it to Citi Field to watch all the action, you can also check it out tomorrow at 1 p.m. on Pix 11, which is going to be hosted by a former Mets pitcher, Nelson Figueroa, who you may know from a sports show, I forget the name of it. He has a sports weeknights. I may have to circle back on that one right there. And also, you can also check Nelson Figueroa on Pix 11. He has the Sports Nightly News And also check out the recent 106 in Sports on BET. It comes on Wednesdays at 10 p.m. All right. And if you missed it, it'll be on Mondays at 9 at it'll be on Mondays at 9 on VH1. All right. Be sure to check that out as well. And that's it, man. I'm out of here. Make sure you take care of yourselves, and make sure you be careful out there, be safe out there, and of course, I really hope that you get a chance to get prepared for your Thanksgiving, which is going to be in 2 weeks. And take it easy, be safe. I hope y'all have a good time at Citi Field tomorrow for Dominican Republic versus Team Puerto Rico. And of course, it starts at 1 p.m. 1 p.m. on Pix 11 in case you can't make it. And don't forget to check out SeatGeek.com for last minute tickets in case you can't get them. Whatsoever. All right. Peace and one love. Peace and one love. Be easy. Do what you love. Do what makes you happy and smile. That cheers you up. All right. I'm out of here. Tune in next time on the next episode of the Sports Edition show, Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast, where I actually talk about the whole thing with Pete Alonso and Edwin Diaz opting out, and more information in terms of what's going on in the New York Mets off-season news. I got you covered, all that great stuff, and I also got you covered on football news. I also got you covered on the basketball schedules of the New York Knicks. I didn't get the chance to get into the Brooklyn Nets schedule, so stick around. I'll be back. I'm signing off. Peace out. One love. Good night, everybody.